Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. I'm Jose Cruz, and our guest for this third segment is Richard Lederer. He is the author now of 52 books covering topics related to language, history, humor, books for children, etc. It's a good mix, Richard. I have a question just in terms of a book that you might recommend, and I'm looking at a list of them right now. But let's say somebody was an emerging reader, and I remember reading a book called The Power of Reading or something. It really did help me out because it was about, you probably know that book, but it helped me out because it gave me a whole lot of the Latin roots and just the origin of words and such. Do you have a particular book that you'd recommend that you've written?
Boy, for a starter, and they're just an emerging reader.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one because of the level I work in. I would never want to frustrate, a child or just an emerging reader.
Or an adult.
I think that the most representative title that I have of what I'm about is called Word Wizard. It's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the range of what I do, because part of what I do, Jose, is I have, it's a very wide range, so it could be bloopers, puns, wordplay, general humor, but it could be serious, eloquent stuff like history of the language, how to build a better vocabulary,
yes,
and roots and so on. But it also could be anagrams and palindromes. So what I would say, and I really mean this, if somebody is interested, I will say this. I do have a very nice piece on building a better vocabulary.
Okay.
And I would be happy to share that if anybody writes me, again, at Richard H. H is for Henry, incidentally, Lederer, Richard H. Lederer @gmail.com. I would be happy to attach that essay and send it to them, and that, of course, would be including roots. Just I could give all sorts of words, and what we say in my field is, it's hard by the yard, but it's inch by the inch.
Yep, I like that.
So, for example, just as an example, how magnanimous of you to have me back on the show, and it certainly isn't our first time. Magna large anima spirit. So an animation, let's say a cartoon, is a moving of the spirit. So it means large of spirit, magna, anima.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd be very happy to attach that to anybody who writes me. Richard H. Lederer @gmail.com.
Very good. And Richard, I'm looking at a list of your books, and I'm setting up my next question. Lederer on Language, Crazy English, Anguished English, The Miracle of Language, which is my favorite.
Thank you.
Get Thee to a Punnery, The Play of Words, More Anguished English, The Bride of Anguished English, Fractured English, The Gift of Age, Amazing Words, The Cunning Linguist. I got to be careful with that one.
Yes, I think we do.
Yeah, Presidential Trivia. And then more English. I'm trying to read that one, but anyway, Punning Game, Sleeping Dogs Don't Lay,
and most recently, The Joy of Names and how we get our names.
Yes, so it's at the tail end right here. And then all the others, A Tribute to Teachers.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So here's my question: because you did not stop at 50 books.
I didn't.
Well, how do you write, Richard? How do you are you taking notes? As man, all this stuff's all of a sudden coming up about Christmas, and I'm taking notes and I want to write the next book. How does that happen to you?
Wow. Well, again, speaking about hard by the yard, but a cinch by the inch, because I am writing, it used to be until recently, thanks to Administrative Bill 5, so now it's every other week because of that bill, which is very restrictive on people like me. me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still writing regularly for the Union Tribune. So what happens is when you're writing approximately 750 words a week, or now every other week, you see what comes to you, and then after a while you start to see patterns. And gee, if I put these together and with some changes, there's going to be a chapter there, and oh, here's another chapter, and it sort of steps forward and says, write me, write me. So even with the Halloween and Christmas books, over the years I've been writing Halloween and Christmas columns, and after a while you say, now those two go together, and then finally, gee, I think I've got a book here, and because my books sell well, I do tend to have publishers who are quite willing to publish them. What I feel, and I hope this doesn't sound odd, is if you have a gift that somehow came about, if possible, you have an obligation to be productive.
Yes.
You don't hide your light under a bushel. And it just happens with me, the columns fall from me naturally, and then the books are harder to put together, but you do put them together.
Yeah.
And so that would be the answer. They come a bit at a time. And you mentioned before when I pointed out hot off the press and hung out to dry and carbon copy, I do happen to have that memory thing for that.
Yeah.
Some days, wait a minute, did I eat lunch? Did I do my stretches? But not a syllable of the language ever leaves me. It just keeps building. And so then it starts to say, okay, here's a book. Let's put it together.
Wow. And so you can't help it. In a way, there's work involved. I know that. I get that. And you have people maybe who read for you too, Richard, helping with editing and all that. But it sounds like it happens
right.
to you.
Because it's just happens to be what you do, as with my kids and poker.
Yeah.
They see that and I go, what in the heck? How did they make that decision?
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, come on, it's this. And I go, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. I had the opportunity once. I think we had played poker together twice. And once was at your home, and another one was a fundraiser out there near Scripps Ranch. And it was an honor to be able to do that. And to help out a bit. We were doing something with Help Patrick Walk. You probably remember that.
That's right.
Remember that. But anyway, a lot of fun. But no, it's probably not where my talents are. Richard, when do you write, or are you always writing? And is part of the writing the thinking that you're doing all day long and connecting these things? And does it drive people in your family crazy?
No, they're used to it. My wife knew that before we got married. But again, if people want to email me, I've written an essay on how people write and how I write. Some people, they're morning writers, afternoon, evening, sometimes middle of the night. I can write at any time. And in fact, after we hang up, I'm going to be writing some more stuff.
Okay.
That because it's always with me. But what you're talking about, the thinking about it, I take very few notes. I do put things, not on a pad is what I mean, but it's called pre-writing, and I'm thinking all the time of how to make the sentence better, and oh, wait a minute, I can add this to that chapter, that's a terrific example, or darn it, I reversed those paragraphs, I should have put number 3 at number 2 and vice versa, and those little things that readers might not notice, but I do think about it because it's just who I am, and I want to blow up that distance between who I am and what I do.
But you're not I love it, and we all should. And like I said, going back to risk versus reward, right?
Yes.
Oh man, I should have stayed in college or whatever. I should have I should have things versus, hey, I have this talent. I got to find out, how much of it I have and what I can do with it and how much I can contribute to humanity because I have this gift or at least it seems like I have this gift.
But watch out for the should-haves, because remember that a bad outcome does not mean a bad decision. You can have perfectly good reasons for doing things, and they don't turn out, but that doesn't mean you had the right reasons for doing it. Or just as in poker, you can be an 84-16 favorite, and somebody hits the darn 16%.
Right.
And you go, why did I do that? And the answer is because you're going to win that 84% of the time.
Yeah.
It just wasn't this time.
Yeah, a freakish thing happened, and freakish things do happen.
They do in life. And Annie, my daughter, has a word for that. It's an odd noun. It's called resulting. And it's focusing on the result when really you did the right thing and bad luck. But ultimately, you're going to win with that strategy.
Wow, back to life, actually. And I have people in my circles like, man, I feel like I went in the wrong direction. I feel like I didn't live my life the way it was meant to be lived. And I just kind of like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have those kind of regrets. You made the decisions that you made, and it took you where it did. Richard, we're going to go.
I have to throw a pun in here. It's better to be optimistic than to be mistheoptic.
Oh, boy, I got to work on that one.
Okay, optimistic, mistheoptic, meaning tears in the eyes. Be optimistic. Optimism will make you a happier life and a more effective life.
You bet, man. Hey, we're listening to, and we're being educated by Richard Lederer. You're listening to Richard on the WS Radio Literacy for All show that's brought to you by the San Diego Council on Literacy. And, do contact Richard. He loves people. He loves his books. He loves sharing his books. He loves talking about them. And we love his books, and we love Richard. So we're going to be back with him for our fourth segment in just a few minutes. Stand by.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Too much to do? Not enough time to get it done? Call on the experts at Another 8 Hours for your business support needs. By partnering with Another 8 Hours, we allow you to focus on the more important matters, like being in front of your clients, doing what you do best, rather than being stuck at a desk poring over paperwork, rummaging through emails, returning phone calls, and struggling to get everything done by yourself. Meanwhile, your family and social life are going down the drain. Go to another8hours.com or call 8 more hours. That's 866-734-6877.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. And quite quickly, because we're having so much fun, we're in our fourth segment with Richard Lederer, author, and oh my gosh, it's just a long list. And Richard, I wanted to ask you, what is the most regular job that you've had? And I don't know if you've ever taught before. I don't remember that part of things. It seems like
very much so. Yes, I worked for almost 3 decades at a church boarding school in New England named St. Paul's School. And interestingly, very recently, I've done some Zooms with some of the classes. 1975 and 85 that could not return to the campus because, of course, the campus was closed for their decimal reunions, and just had a great time. So I was a teacher, head of the English department, faculty advisor to the newspaper and the debating society, coach of many, many sports. And, you know, boarding school is the children you teach in the morning, you coach in the afternoon, and supervise. They're going to bed at night. And at some point needed a bigger stage, and so traveled well more than 3,000 miles to come to San Diego, and which felt like home for Simone and me the minute we got here, and that was in early '97.
Well, we're glad you're here. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the sports thing. Now, I'm also, in this year, the president of the Downtown San Diego Lions Club.
Yes.
And you, in addition to being on the show today, when I asked you, you said you would come and speak to our club and really appreciate it. But we were having an evening meeting, so that wasn't going to work out for us. And,
that's why.
Because of why, Richard? Because of tennis.
Oh, yes, that's right, by tennis. Well, a couple of things about tennis. And seriously, I play 3 times a week. I played collegiately, I played in USTA leagues, and I played in national stuff. And, of course, out here we've got a lot of awfully good old men who are playing, an age group. Yale University of Public Health recently pointed out that tennis can add up to 9 years of longevity to your life because it not only is it safe and it's social, which is excellent, but it is by nature intermittent, meaning you play a point, you have a brief stop, rest there, and then at the break during every odd game, you then sit down, and that really can add longevity to your life. And given where my tennis has gone, which is, shall we say, south, but I still play for the Friends, and I play for the 9 years.
Wonderful. And this is a sport, I mean, and I tell people, if you're going to play tennis, and you're not going to chase the ball, you might as well not play tennis. So you have to be out there trying the whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And related to it, the fastest growing sport, Jose, in the U.S. of A is pickleball.
Right.
And that is about half the size, so you're still moving around, and you do get a good workout. It's not the same, but it also doesn't require the skill level of tennis.
Right. And do you play pickleball too?
I do, but I still stay with tennis because I want more running.
Very good. Good for you. Okay, I have some leftover questions, so let me ask this. Going back to the Christmas book, the new Christmas, tell me the title again.
A Treasury of Christmas Humor.
Have you ever heard of the term Michaelmas?
Yep, that's in the book.
And okay. And explain that because...
Well, I'm not sure I can right now, but that is in there.
Okay.
And actually, let me just give you the Partridge in the Pear Tree, one example. it is something called folk etymology, in which you think you hear something, but it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And a partridge in a pear tree was originally a partridge in pear tree, P-E-R-T-R-I-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And that is French for a partridge. So it was simply a bilingual round. And so it was a partridge. But when people heard un pear tree, they thought it meant in a pear tree.
Oh.
And while we're on Christmas, let me just, because I'm so proud of this chapter called Reinventing Christmas. We did have Santa Claus from Sinterklaas. It's largely Dutch invention. And then we had 1822, the night before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And that image of Santa Claus and, coming with his reindeer to the roof and leaving gifts, that is essentially from that poem by Clement Clark Moore in The New Yorker, and is possibly the best-known poem in the English language. It's certainly right up there, even though it's seasonal. And but remember, Santa was a jolly old elf, just a little guy, and miniature reindeer. So then it took Thomas Nast, this is a political cartoonist, who gave us the donkey and the elephant for the political parties. I can't go into detail. We have very little time. And then Charles Dickens, 1842 or 44, that whole of Christmas and a time of giving and goodwill for the poor and a white Christmas, that was all Dickens. And believe it or not, Jose, as you'll find in the book, nobody said Merry Christmas until Dickens's novel or novelette.
Amazing.
It was Happy Christmas. And if you look at the end of the 1822 poem, it's Happy Christmas to all and to all a good night. But again, I just want to emphasize the fun, the wordplay. How do cats wish each other the best of the holidays at the end of the year? A furry, meowy Christmas and a happy new year, just for example.
Love it. Okay, I should know better, and we're about 2 minutes away, and it's going to go by really quickly. I'm going to ask this question. I should know better than to ask this question. Can you recite the prologue to the Canterbury Tales?
Yes. Let me just think.
I can ask you that question because I had to do it.
Really, when the showers suita, the draft of March has passed to the ruta. And the interesting thing is, that looks odd. It's Middle English, Geoffrey Chaucer, 1340 to 1400, and yet we can recognize every word in that except the end of the first line, suta, which is related to soda and means sweetness. But the point is, you can see modern English developing out of that.
Right. And I practice
in April.
Yeah, I can do it. A little bit chopped up, could use a refresher, but it was something I had to do for my English literature class. I just thought I'd test you on that one. Any last words for us, Richard? Just about the books. Let's focus on that.
I will just be thrilled. Again, if you follow the guidelines. And think ahead, and you don't want to order at the last minute because I can't take that chance. I mean, I'll try to stock up ahead, but basically, $13 a book, $8 goes back to for either one, both, whatever, to literacy, to a great cause, and you have got your Halloween shopping done, and boy, do you have your Christmas shopping done, or at least a good start on it. $8 will go back to the San Diego Council for Literacy.
Very good. And now I've memorized your email address, richardhlederer@gmail.com. Am I right?
You are, because some idiot named Richard Lederer beat me to it.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, my goodness. All right. I got it. Richard, thank you so much for being on our show again. I don't think I have time for a last question. We're going to have you back. So thank you.
Well, that would be great, and because I'm multilingual, I just want to say au reservoir, auf Wiener Schnitzel, hasta lumbago, and buenas nachos to you.
Very good. Thank you, Richard. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk, and hopefully, we're going to send out the podcast link, and you'll enjoy the show another time or again. Bye.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.